Our breakfast. Let's get unscrewed with Jason Bryant, unscrewed.co.nz. Wine tastings in the Kiwi studio. Morning, Jason.
Good morning, Wamo. What a great way to start the weekend.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Really
winding down for you.
Yeah.
Winding up, not for me, but...
Why? You've got a big weekend on the go?
Fairly. England-Scotland in the rugby.
Yeah. When's that?
Tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
And also there's some other rugby. South Africa and Australia play some pretty keen games. And
what's the game in Auckland this weekend?
It is...
That's it?
Yes, England-Scotland. And being that my loyalties now lie with New Zealand, I don't support England at all.
It's not your secondary team?
No. Wales would be my secondary team.
Okay.
My gran was Blodwyn Gwendolyn Jones.
Oh, yeah.
And so I could have played for Wales, if I was good enough. Anything, that is. And so...
Like driving?
Yeah, driving. Yeah, don't talk about driving.
No, we're going to talk about driving just in a sec.
I'm going to rub it in. But my partner Liz is from Scotland, and so I will be supporting Scotland because if Argentina win and Scotland win, they go through.
Okay.
If Scotland win by 8 points, they go through, and so England would...
What are the chances?
Pretty remote.
Yeah.
England have been playing their usual style of rugby, which is very boring and not what we like to see as a spectacle on TV, but is always successful, and you've got to credit them that. They always start off in this really poor lag kind of phase where they look just ugly. Yeah. And then they just get through to the business end of the competition and thereabouts. Well. So, as well as Scotland have been playing appallingly.
We'll see how that goes. Let's get on to the driving, because on the weekend just gone, I had my turn at the Honda Insight weekend. Yeah. Where you take the Honda Insight hybrid car away for the weekend, or do whatever you want for the weekend, and come back with the most economical fuel use that you can at the end of it. So we shot off up to Tutukaka for the weekend. Lovely weekend up there. Got over my head cold, which was nice. Gosh, this time last week, man, I was feeling pretty bad. But anyway, got over that.
I'm still suffering from it.
Oh, yeah?
It's got on my chest.
Sticking around. I came back on Monday morning, back to the Honda dealership there in Newmarket, with 5.3 litres per 100 kilometres, which sits me sort of in the middle of the pack.
In the middle?
Yeah, because the new record, well, I don't know if it was a record, but the guy leading is now on 4.8 litres. I mean,
how'd you do it? Did you just not take it out?
No, because the longer you drive it, the more economical you should become.
Yeah. Oh, did he go down to Wellington and back?
No, he went, I think he went up to Dargaville, something like that.
Oh, okay.
So he did go for a bit of a drive. You, of course, down the bottom of the leaderboard on 7.1, the most lead-footed driver of the Honda Insight.
Ironically, and I consider myself probably the most green.
Obviously not. Man, you were just doing burnouts, donuts.
I was driving around town just as I said that I would drive it as I would any other car. And so even though I haven't seen what my Subaru does around town, I should imagine it's a bit more thirsty than that. I was very, very conservative, and it still didn't show. So.
You realise green on the dashboard means you're being economical. Blue on the dashboard means that you
didn't blind, right?
You didn't get it wrong way around.
No. I could tell once I knew the shade, I was sweet, and I drove accordingly.
Oh well,
but
can't all be winners, eh?
No. Next topic before we get onto this wine, because it is wine related.
Well, as we do it.
Okay. So what we're going to do today is the Block 18 St. Clair Sauvignon Blanc 2011, and it's called Snap Block.
Yes.
Because Snap was the type of apples, and this vineyard was former orchard, and so there's a nice tie-in with the name, and so obviously St. Clair are.
Have we had a St. Clair Sauv before, or maybe it was something else?
We have. We've tried quite a few St. Clair wines on the show, and one of the things that they're renowned for is the Sauvignon Blanc. I mean, they make numerous labels of Sauvignon Blanc. Under the Pioneer Block, they've got different blocks, and then you've got the Wairau Reserve, and then you've got the Vicar's Choice plus the St. Clair normal label as well. So they've got a whole array of Sauvignon Blanc, and this is what they've become known for in New Zealand. So this is the latest release.
Yep.
And I'd sampled the Block 21 yesterday, I think it was.
So we had the Riesling back in June.
Yeah, and we've had a few others.
And we had the Bull Block Pinot Gris also in June as well.
Yeah.
And the Merlot in May.
Yeah.
And the Pinot in August last year.
Yeah. So we've done a few of them, right?
Yeah. Thank goodness for tags on
absolutely,
the website.
Yeah. So so I mean they're kind of one of the champion wineries from Marlborough. They've got their wines globally, and so they got Winery of the Year, and they consistently pick up medals and trophies. So
it's actually kind of surprising we haven't had the Sav up until now. Really, when you think about it.
Yeah, it is. Perhaps I've stayed away from that, but I thought it was a good time to actually bring it out. Kind of.
Yeah.
I'm off down to Marlborough at the end of the month, end of October, for Marlborough Wine Weekend, which is basically a trade event.
Would St. Clair be one of the wineries concerned about the new alcohol reform?
Possibly, yeah. That's a very good, nice little segue there.
That's what I'm
beautiful,
here for.
Beautiful. That's kind of like that panoramic stitch.
I'm an economical driver and I can do segues.
Yes. Now this is for me. It's a really concerning bill, and I don't even have a winery. As a wine tourist, I think people should be concerned.
Why?
Because what's happening is that cellar doors are now going to be categorised the same as supermarkets and any other place selling alcohol to try to combat the binge drinking culture that we've got. Yeah.
Kids drinking, essentially.
Right. Obviously, the wine tourist that comes over here, right, that want to visit the wine places, spend more discretionary income throughout their stay because they tend to stay in better class accommodation. And they visit the cellar door, they purchase stuff there, they tend to visit nice restaurants. So these are the high roller, high spender tourists that we want to encourage.
Yeah.
And by closing cellar doors down, by making them adhere to the same rules and regulations as supermarkets and other liquor stores, we'll see a lot change because they'll have to have a duty manager, they'll have to have licensing, obviously, and a lot of these wineries are already struggling.
Surely they're covered by another section of the law.
No.
Surely this is an unintended consequence of the law.
It is an unintended consequence, and some of the law I think is worthy. One of the things I always worry about is where the word reform is used. It suggests that the current legislation is already broken, and so we're just reforming a broken law. We need to kind of reevaluate that law and pass it. A law that makes sense.
So do they need like a simple exemption in there somewhere?
They need an exemption, but I also think it's like the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff, that we're not really dealing with the root problem. We need to be dealing, and I got criticised earlier in the week for this, I think we need to look at our culture and our cultural values. In Europe, alcohol is placed upon the table. And so it's part of our daily life, or their daily life. In Britain, where they're predicting that they're going to have double the rate of liver cirrhosis and liver disease, a lot of it from obesity rather than alcohol, double the rate of Europe in 10 years' time.
Well, it just seems to be something bad in our DNA.
No, I'm not sure. I think that it is a cultural thing. I think that if we took longer over lunch, so we had a lunch hour, so that we reinvested that time into our colleagues. Alcohol was offered so that we only had that one drink, so we knew the limits. We knew that there were boundaries. You could have that one glass of wine, and then you went back to work. So you challenge not you challenge yourself, but it tells you and teaches you restraint. And so it teaches you respect about alcohol. And I think as soon as we start respecting one another and our environment and what we're eating and what we're drinking, and get away from fast food frenzy, and that mentality runs throughout the whole of society, not just food, but kind of alcohol and stuff like that. That's why we've got RTDs, and which have been mooted as the root of the cause. But I think we need to take a big shift backwards and have a look at why we've got this problem. Anyway, enough of that. But I think we need a petition a global petition to stop this happening. Otherwise, we're going to end up with a lot of cellar doors shut, and that will end our wine industry.
All right, just tell me where to sign up.
Okay. Now, ironically, as soon as I mentioned apple orchard, right?
Yeah.
I get apples on the nose.
Granny Smith.
Yeah.
Definitely. Nice green apple.
Yeah, well, I get kind of, for me, on the nose, I get apple, ice cream, and passion fruit.
Yeah.
So
definitely nice.
Yeah, it's got this really nice lifted kind of aroma, slightly perfumed, tropical aroma.
Ooh. Lots of grapefruit coming through, obviously.
Yeah, you do get that.
But the apple stays there.
Yeah, the apple is there.
Really crisp, delicious apple.
Yep. And then you get that kind of grapefruit character at the front. Then I get the stony character at the back.
Slight creaminess at the end.
Yeah. It is a creaminess. And they could have been doing a bit of stirring and stuff like that. Or it may just be the yeast that they've used. But you do get that creaminess. I get a kind of front grapefruit, mid, I get this kind of delicious apple, and then back I get this stone, and then to finish I get a cream. So it's all there.
You guys are painting a very nice picture. I'm just listening to the radio in the office. The picture is... I'm going to help you finish that bottle later on, Waymo.
Go get your...
Not that we encourage excessive drinking.
No, not after what I've just been talking about.
Go get yourself a glass.
Yeah.
I shall do.
But that, for me, that's a winner. That is going to be, like, especially with shellfish, it's going to rock you.
That right there is a winner.
Yeah.
Unscrewed.co.nz, so we can go find this as a video once more, and Jason_Bryant on Twitter as well, as we can see him hanging out.